Martin Truex Jr. is a proven NASCAR Cup Series champion with 3 runner-up points finishes since then, but this is his final chance to become a multi-time Cup winner. Even after winning the regular season championship in 2023, it appears that misery has followed him, and the upcoming weekend will be make or break for him. Where has it all gone wrong? Truex Jr. even blamed someone for all his troubles last weekend. "Just a little bit frustrated with how things have gone lately," Truex stated at Watkins Glen. "No matter what we do, it is wrong, and we can't catch a break. It has been frustrating, but the guys are working hard and a big weekend here. This is a good place for me, and I love coming up here. We put a lot of effort in, so we will see how it turns out this weekend," Truex Jr. said before the race. Only to come out still winless and in danger of being eliminated after only 2 playoff races, so he's trying to turn things around upcoming weekend. The bad news is that he starts at Bristol 14 points behind the cut line. Does he consider himself in a must-win scenario yet? "I really don't know," he admitted. "We will just have to see. It is obviously a bit of a hole to dig out of, so it is unfortunate last week that we got caught up in that and got some damage. I don't know. We will just have to wait and see. We are going to try to win, but I think we will know more after this weekend is over," he said before starting at the Glen. Truex's problematic situation isn't due to a lack of pace, as he stated last weekend. He has led over 500 laps this year, but pit road penalties, unforced errors, collisions, and bad luck seem to follow him wherever he goes. "It is a lot of different things," he stated. "You call it a slump. Great players get in slumps in other sports, and that is what I feel like it is. I feel like we are doing a lot of good things. We have a lot of speed and put ourselves in position. We just have to put it all together. Some days I make mistakes. Some days the team makes mistakes. Some days. Last week we got caught up in an accident. There has been a lot of that. Just have to put it together on one day, and hopefully that is this weekend." But after 2 playoff races, Martin Truex Jr. might be removed from the playoffs in the first round after being involved in 2 crashes caused by others in consecutive weeks. Martin Truex Jr. was running just within the top 10 and 1 point above the cut line when he was pushed 4 wide, lowering him down the running order. On the next restart, he was among those caught in a pileup entering the S's, forcing him to stop for repairs and new tires. Truex was only able to drive back up to 20th in overtime, leaving Watkins Glen 14 points behind the cut line after winning the first stage. "You get green-white checkered at the end of the race, and you know people are just going to drive through someone. We were in the wrong lane on the short end of the stick as usual," said Truex, visibly frustrated by yet another race where misfortune followed him. "We were in a decent spot there with our Camry, and you go through the S's, and they just plow through you and put you in the marbles. This racing is just ridiculous." The 2017 NASCAR Cup champion is widely regarded as one of the cleanest drivers on the circuit. He was outraged by the lack of decorum in the center of the pack, which has been a problem in late race restarts at other road courses. "Just crazy that all these races always come down to this," Truex remarked in further post-race remarks. "I just don't really understand how guys can call themselves the best in the world when they just drive through everyone on restarts at the end of these races. It's very frustrating, but it is what it is these days. I'm out of here." Martin Truex Jr. even seemed to take a shot at Kyle Larson after Sunday's Go Bowling at the Glen event at Watkins Glen. Truex, who had another dismal performance in a season full of them, thought he was ran over late in the race and was not pleased. "It's just crazy that all these races always come down to this," Truex said. "I don't really understand how guys can call themselves the best in the world when they just drive through everyone on restarts at the end of these races. It's very frustrating, but it is what it is these days, so I'm out of here." Truex's displeasure continues to rise after finishing 20th at Watkins Glen. He started well, winning stage 1, but faded throughout the race. Truex was already in danger of missing out on the round of 12 at Watkins Glen, and he is now 14 points under the cut line in Bristol next Saturday. That puts him in a potential must-win situation, something he hasn't done in his final full-time season in the Cup Series. Truex's figures are troubling, and unlike anything we've seen from him throughout his stint at Joe Gibbs Racing. Not only is he winless after 28 races, but he has only 1 top 10 finish since Nashville in late June and no top 5 finishes since Kansas in early May. He's finished 20th or below in 11 of the past 14 events. This includes the current stretch of 7 straight finishes outside the top 20, We'll see whether he can do something remarkable at Bristol, a track he has yet to win at in his Hall of Fame career. He did, however, finish second to Denny Hamlin in the spring race at Bristol. In the end, Joe Gibbs Racing has a rough day overall. Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin collided on lap 1, with Hamlin wrecked again later. Bell finished 14th, the highest among JGR drivers, while the others finished 20th or worse. Ty Gibbs departs Watkins Glen with a 6-point lead over teammate Hamlin. At least one JGR driver's playoffs are expected to end next weekend in the round of 16 elimination race. Truex's final shot at a title before retiring from full-time racing, but he comes into the race with 7 consecutive results of 20th or worse. And it's not only Truex's last shot, as Denny Hamlin is also in a bad position. But unlike Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin feels confident coming into Bristol, despite another finish outside the top 20 and 6 points behind the NASCAR playoffs cut line. Denny Hamlin played it safe in Atlanta. It did not pay off. Then he qualified poorly at Watkins Glen on Saturday. That put him in the center of the pack to begin the race, which was when catastrophe struck. Hamlin suffered significant damage on lap 1, but was able to continue racing. From then, he caught a few breaks, but was involved in another collision before the race ended. However, by scooping up the fortunate dog and taking the lead lap, Hamlin salvaged his afternoon as best he could. Following the race, Hamlin spoke with Fox Sports' Bob Pockris about his finish and how he feels about next week. "My fault on qualifying. I put us in a bad spot there, and it put us right in the middle of where the crashes are," says Hamlin. "So, I can't complain if I'm going to qualify bad." The Joe Gibbs Racing driver didn't witness what happened. Based on his knowledge of the course, he accurately diagnosed it. "I couldn't see. There was just a jam up there," he continued. "With the rumble strips and the way they are, if you kinda get on them wrong, it'll shoot you into the car beside, and more than likely the 8 got turned somehow that way." Denny Hamlin then voiced his optimism for next week's race at Bristol. He has won the past 2 Cup Series races at the last great Coliseum. "Yeah, we're going to a let-off oval, one where you gotta let off the gas," Hamlin said. "So, I feel like we should be pretty confident. I can't think of the last time we haven't had a race-winning car there." This Num 11 squad travels to Bristol with finishes of P24 and P23. It's a challenging racing circuit, but Hamlin has previously conquered it. There is a restricted sample size in the next-gen period. However, in the 3 next-gen races at Bristol, Hamlin has consistently qualified and finished well. Start dates for P4, P2, and P3 are 2022 to 2024. His finishing positions have been P9, P1, and P1. It will be fascinating to see how comfortable and confident Denny Hamlin feels next week. He enters the Bristol night race 6 points behind the cutoff. What do you think? Can the JGR drivers recover from their bad performances and qualify for the second round of playoffs? If so, who goes out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.